Have you ever felt that moment of disappointment when you open a new bottle of joint supplements, hoping this one will finally help, only to feel exactly the same weeks later? A patient once looked at me with tired eyes and said, "I've tried everything on the shelf, Dr. Carter, and nothing seems to help." And I want you to imagine this with me. You're standing in the supplement aisle, staring at dozens of colorful bottles, promising fast relief, cartilage repair, and a pain-free life. And you wonder which one you can actually trust. For so many seniors, this frustration is real. I've met countless people who spent months trying product after product, only to feel misled, confused, or even a little embarrassed, as if they did something wrong. But let me reassure you, it's not your fault. The truth is that joint supplements are one of the most misunderstood areas of senior health. Not all supplements are created equal. Many make bold, exaggerated claims that aren't backed by strong science. Some help a small group of people. Others barely move the needle at all. And that gap between what is promised and what actually works leaves millions of older adults feeling lost. As someone who has spent decades studying joint pain and caring for adults over 60, I want to give you clarity and confidence. Joint pain isn't simple. It involves cartilage wear, inflammation, hydration, posture, muscle strength, movement patterns, and underlying medical conditions. No supplement on its own can fix all of that. A capsule can support the body, but it can't replace the daily habits and deeper needs that keep joints strong and flexible. So in today's video, we're going to break things down in a way that finally makes sense. We'll uncover what works, what doesn't, and why. We'll look at the ingredients worth paying attention to and the ones that waste your money. I'll show you how to read labels, how to spot misleading claims, and how to choose supplements that actually support your body instead of draining your wallet. My goal is to empower you with simple, science-backed understanding so you can make smart decisions and feel confident in your choices. If you're ready to finally understand the truth about joint supplements and take control of your joint health, stay with me and subscribe to Senior Health Daily so we can walk this journey together. Why joint supplements are so confusing for seniors. As we step into the heart of this topic, I want to take you to a place many seniors know far too well. Standing in the supplement aisle, staring at rows of bottles, each promising miracles. Joint relief, cartilage repair, faster mobility, less pain in days. It feels like hope wrapped in shiny labels. But behind that hope is a complicated mix of marketing, misunderstandings, and half-truths that make joint supplements incredibly confusing for older adults. One of the biggest reasons seniors struggle with choosing the right supplement is the way these products are marketed. Companies know that joint pain is emotional. When people hurt, they're vulnerable. They want relief, answers, and reassurance. So labels are designed to speak directly to those emotions. Words like advanced, maximum strength, doctor approved, or clinically tested are printed in bold letters. The promises sound comforting, even scientific, but many of them are far stronger than the evidence behind the product. Then there's the issue of vague or ineffective ingredients. Many supplements are filled with long lists of herbal blends or proprietary formulas that don't actually tell you what's inside. The doses are often too low to make any real difference, or the ingredients have little research supporting them. Seniors look at the labels and assume more ingredients means more effectiveness, when in reality, it often means the opposite. The more vague the blend, the less likely it is to help. Another source of confusion comes from the word natural. Many seniors assume that if something is natural, it must be safe and effective. But natural doesn't always mean powerful, and it definitely doesn't mean guaranteed results. There are natural ingredients that truly help inflammation and joint function, but there are just as many that do very little. Without guidance, it becomes nearly impossible to tell the difference. Pain itself adds another layer to the problem. When a person wakes up each day with aching knees or stiff hands, they're more likely to trust big promises. Pain makes people hopeful and desperate at the same time, which is exactly the emotional space marketers target. I've seen incredibly smart, thoughtful individuals fall into the trap of believing claims that are simply too good to be true. And one of the biggest contributors to this confusion is the lack of regulation. Unlike prescription medications, supplements don't need to prove their claims before reaching the market. That means companies can release weak formulas, underdosed ingredients, or flashy labels without scientific backing. Some supplements truly help. Others are little more than expensive placebos. And there's no quick way for the average consumer to tell which is which. If you've ever felt lost, misled, or overwhelmed while trying to choose a joint supplement, you're not alone. It's not because you made a mistake, it's because the system itself makes it difficult to know what's real and what's not. But once we pull back the curtain and look at the truth behind these claims, everything becomes clearer. In the next section, we'll dive into the most misleading promises that appear on supplement labels and unpack the gap between myth and reality. Once you understand these common deceptions, you'll be far better equipped to protect yourself and choose wisely. The most misleading claims. As we continue this journey, I want to walk you through some of the most common claims printed on joint supplement bottles. These are the phrases that catch your eye, spark your hope, and sometimes lead you to spend far more than you planned. But behind each of these claims is a reality that most seniors never hear. And once you understand what these phrases truly mean, you'll never look at a supplement label the same way again. One of the most misleading promises is the idea that a product can repair cartilage overnight. I've seen those words printed in bold letters on countless bottles, and every time I shake my head. Cartilage doesn't regenerate quickly. It's one of the slowest tissues in the body to heal because it has little blood supply. The idea that a capsule could rebuild cartilage in a matter of days isn't just unrealistic, it's biologically impossible. Yet many seniors believe it because they want relief fast. I once had a patient who took 5 different supplements at once because she thought it would speed up the process. When nothing happened, she felt defeated. But the problem wasn't her, it was the promise itself. Another popular claim is guaranteed pain relief. No supplement can guarantee that. Pain is complex. It comes from inflammation, cartilage wear, posture, hydration levels, muscle weakness, and sometimes medical conditions like arthritis or thyroid issues. Supplements may support some of these factors, but they can't address all of them. So, any guarantee of relief is misleading from the start. A supplement might help some people, especially when combined with lifestyle improvements, but guaranteeing results? That's a marketing line, not a medical truth. The phrase doctor recommended is another tricky one. Many people assume it means physicians collectively endorse the product. In reality, the phrase often refers to a paid spokesperson or a vague survey of a small group of practitioners. It doesn't mean your doctor or the medical community at large supports it. I've had countless patients bring me bottles with this label, hoping it meant the product was trustworthy. But without knowing which doctors recommended it, for whom and under what conditions, the phrase means almost nothing. Then there's the promise of a premium blend. It sounds luxurious, powerful, and scientifically advanced. But in most cases, it's just a fancy way of saying the formula contains many ingredients in small, ineffective amounts. Companies use long ingredient lists to impress buyers, but when you look closely, the doses are too low to make a real impact. You might see turmeric, boswellia, MESM, and glucosamine all in one pill, but each ingredient is present in such tiny amounts that your joints barely notice it. In my experience, simpler formulas with proper dosages work far better than these overstuffed blends. One of the most abused claims on supplement bottles is clinically proven. It gives the impression that large, high-quality clinical trials were conducted on the exact formula inside the bottle. But in reality, this phrase is often based on small or unrelated studies. For example, a company may reference a study on pure glucosamine sulfate, then use that study to sell a formula that contains a much weaker form or an entirely different dosage. So while the claim sounds scientific, the science rarely matches the product. I remember a patient named Louise who came into my office carrying a bag full of supplements. She had spent hundreds of dollars over 6 months trusting these exact claims. When she realized how misleading they were, she looked at me and said, "I wish someone had explained all this before I wasted so much time." And that's exactly why this conversation matters. You deserve honesty, clarity, and real guidance. The goal isn't to make you distrust every supplement. It's to help you recognize the difference between marketing and meaningful support. Once you understand what these claims really mean, you protect your wallet and your health. And now that we've uncovered the myths, it's time to look at what science actually says about the most common joint supplement ingredients. What science actually says about common ingredients. Now that we've separated marketing myths from reality, let's focus on what truly matters. What science actually says about the ingredients found in the most popular joint supplements. This is where clarity begins. When you understand what each ingredient can and cannot do, you're no longer guessing. You're making informed decisions that support your body instead of gambling with your health or your wallet. Let's start with glucosamine and chondroitin, two of the most widely used joint supplement ingredients in the world. They've been studied more than almost any other joint formula. Glucosamine plays a role in helping cartilage hold onto water, while chondroitin supports elasticity and shock absorption. For some seniors, especially those with early to moderate knee osteoarthritis, these ingredients can offer noticeable relief. But they aren't fast-acting. They take time, usually 60 to 90 days, before you can honestly judge whether they're helping. And they work best when cartilage is thinned but not severely damaged. I've seen patients come back after 2 or 3 weeks saying, "It's not doing anything," and I have to remind them that these ingredients are more like gentle gardeners than emergency workers. They nourish. They don't perform miracles overnight. Next, we have collagen peptides. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your connective tissues, supporting tendons, ligaments, and even the cartilage lining your joints. As we age, collagen production drops significantly. Supplementing with collagen peptides can help restore some of that lost support. It tends to work best for people experiencing joint discomfort due to tissue weakness rather than severe degenerative disease. Many seniors notice improvements in overall joint comfort and mobility after consistent use. I've had patients in their 70s tell me they feel more solid and more supported after adding collagen to their routine. MSM, or methylsulfonylmethane, is another ingredient gaining popularity. MSM is thought to reduce inflammation by helping the body lower oxidative stress. Some seniors feel a real difference when MSM is added to their routine, especially when combined with glucosamine or chondroitin. It works best as part of a team rather than a standalone solution. Think of it as a supporting actor in a larger cast. Useful, but most effective alongside the right partners. Turmeric and curcumin are often praised as powerful anti-inflammatory compounds, and there's real truth behind that. Curcumin, the active ingredient, can lower inflammation in the body when taken consistently. But the form and dose matter enormously. Curcumin is hard for the body to absorb, so formulas that include black pepper extract or enhanced absorption technologies work far better than cheap turmeric powders. I've seen dramatic differences between high-quality and low-quality curcumin supplements. With the right formula, many seniors feel reduced stiffness within weeks. Boswellia serrata is another plant extract with growing scientific support. It helps block certain pathways tied to inflammation and can be incredibly helpful for people with osteoarthritis. Some of my patients feel more flexible and experience less swelling when they take a well-formulated Boswellia supplement. It's not as famous as turmeric, but in many cases, I've seen it work just as well, if not better. Omega-3 fatty acids are one of the most reliably studied supplements for inflammation in general. Whether from fish oil or algae, omega-3s support joint comfort by reducing inflammatory chemicals in the body. They're especially helpful for seniors with systemic inflammation or stiffness in multiple joints. People often overlook omega-3s because they don't seem like a traditional joint supplement, but their impact can be profound. And finally, we cannot talk about joint health without mentioning vitamin D and magnesium. Vitamin D plays a crucial role in bone strength and immune function. Low levels can lead to muscle pain, bone discomfort, and overall weakness. Magnesium supports muscle relaxation, nerve function, and energy production. Together, they help the joints stay stable and supported. Many seniors who think they need a stronger joint supplement are actually deficient in one of these two nutrients. Once corrected, their joint discomfort often improves dramatically. When you look at these ingredients through the lens of real science, you begin to understand why some supplements work for certain people and not for others. Each ingredient plays a specific role. Each one addresses a different part of joint health. And each person's body has a different story, a different history, a different need. Now that we've explored what science truly supports, it's time to address something just as important: why supplements don't work for many seniors and what you can do to change that. Hidden reasons supplements don't work for many seniors. Now that we've looked at what the science says about common ingredients, let's turn to a question I hear almost every week. If these supplements can help, why haven't they worked for me? It's a fair question, and the truth is, supplements fail for many seniors not because they're useless, but because of hidden factors that quietly interfere with their effectiveness. These are the reasons most people never hear about, the ones that rarely make it onto a label or a commercial. But when you understand them, the pieces finally start to fit together. The first hidden reason is expectations. Many people hope for fast relief, quick fixes, or dramatic results. But supplements don't replace movement, hydration, or joint-friendly habits. They support the body, they don't rescue it. Think of supplements like gentle reinforcements, not full-time workers. When someone expects a pill to undo years of inflammation or inactivity, disappointment is almost guaranteed. I've seen people take excellent supplements but continue sitting all day, drinking very little water, or avoiding strength exercises. The body needs the environment to heal, not just the ingredient. Absorption is another major factor. The form of the supplement matters. A low-quality product with weak dosages, questionable fillers, or poor absorption can't deliver results. For example, glucosamine sulfate works far better than glucosamine hydrochloride. But many bottles use the cheaper form. Curcumin needs absorption enhancers. Omega-3s vary widely in purity. Even magnesium comes in forms the body absorbs easily and forms it barely uses at all. Seniors often buy what's affordable or familiar, not realizing that quality changes everything. Underlying medical issues are another common barrier. Joint pain is rarely just about the joints. Thyroid problems can cause stiffness. Autoimmune conditions can mimic arthritis. Vitamin D deficiency can weaken bones and muscles. Blood sugar issues can heighten inflammation. If these root problems aren't addressed, supplements alone simply aren't enough. I've watched seniors blame the supplement when the real issue was something their body had been trying to alert them to for years. Lifestyle factors also play a tremendous role. A body that doesn't move becomes stiff. Poor posture strains the joints. Chronic dehydration dries out cartilage. Extra weight compresses the knees and hips. Imagine trying to water a garden with the hose kinked. Even good water won't flow where it needs to go. That's exactly how the body reacts when lifestyle blocks the pathways supplements need to do their job. Inconsistent use is another overlooked issue. Many seniors try a supplement for a week or two, skip days, or forget long stretches. But these ingredients work slowly and steadily. Missing days is like stopping therapy halfway through. The body needs consistency to respond. When people stop too early, they never give the supplement a chance to show what it can do. And finally, there's the issue of combinations. Some supplements only work well when paired with others. Vitamin D needs magnesium. Curcumin absorbs best with black pepper extract. Collagen works better when the body has enough vitamin C. Many times, the ingredient wasn't the problem. The missing partner was. I remember a senior named Robert who had tried glucosamine for years with no success. When we ran a simple blood test, we found he had extremely low vitamin D levels. Once that was corrected, glucosamine finally began providing the support it was supposed to. His story is a perfect example of how the body is interconnected, how one deficiency can mask the benefits of everything else. So if supplements haven't worked for you, it doesn't mean they can't. It might simply mean that your body needs something more or something different. And that brings us to the next important question. Which supplements are actually worth your time, your money, and your trust? Doctor-approved supplements that actually help. Now that we've uncovered the reasons why so many supplements fall short, let's shift toward hope. Because the truth is, there are supplements that genuinely help the body when used correctly and consistently. Not miracle cures, not shortcuts, but real tools that support the joints in meaningful ways. Over the years, I've recommended certain supplements again and again, not because a company asked me to, but because I've seen them work for real people, in real situations, through real healing. Let's start with glucosamine sulfate. Not the cheaper forms you often see on flashy bottles, but glucosamine sulfate specifically. This form has the strongest research supporting it, especially for knee osteoarthritis. It helps cartilage retain water, which improves cushioning and reduces friction. I've watched seniors who struggled with stiffness for years begin to move more comfortably after several months of consistent use. It won't rebuild cartilage, but it can help protect what's still there and make movement feel easier. Chondroitin sulfate is often paired with glucosamine, and for good reason. The two work better together than alone. Chondroitin helps support elasticity and shock absorption inside the joint. Some people respond strongly to it, while others notice only mild improvement. But when it helps, the difference can be life-changing. I've seen patients describe it as a quiet softening of their discomfort, almost like their joints finally felt supported again. Omega-3 fatty acids are another essential tool. These healthy fats reduce inflammation throughout the body, not just in the joints. High-quality fish oil or algae-based omega-3s can help calm the chemical signals that trigger swelling and stiffness. Some seniors tell me they feel more flexible within weeks of starting a consistent dose. It's one of the most overlooked supplements, even though the science behind it is incredibly strong. Collagen peptides are also worth paying attention to. As we age, our bodies produce less collagen, which affects the strength of tendons, ligaments, and cartilage. Collagen peptides can help replenish some of what has been lost, improving overall joint comfort and stability. I've seen older adults who struggled with weakness around their joints feel more secure after adding collagen into their routine. It's especially helpful for those dealing with muscle loss or connective tissue strain. Curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, is another powerful option when taken in a form the body can absorb well. Not all turmeric supplements are effective, but curcumin with black pepper extract or enhanced absorption technology can significantly reduce inflammation. Many seniors notice less morning stiffness and easier mobility after consistent use. I've seen it work particularly well for people who can't tolerate traditional anti-inflammatory medications. Vitamin D3 paired with vitamin K2 is a combination I often recommend. Vitamin D supports bone health and immune function, while K2 helps direct calcium into the bones rather than the arteries. Seniors who are deficient in vitamin D often experience widespread joint discomfort, fatigue, or muscle weakness. Once corrected, their pain often improves more than they expect. This supplement combination is a quiet powerhouse for joint stability. Magnesium glycinate is another essential nutrient that many older adults are deficient in without realizing it. Magnesium helps muscles relax and supports nerve function. Without enough magnesium, joints can feel tighter, stiffer, or more reactive. Supplementing with an easily absorbed form like glycinate can help calm the body, reduce tension, and make movement feel smoother. And finally, let's talk about boswellia extract. It's a botanical ingredient that reduces inflammation through a pathway different from many other supplements. Some of my patients describe it as feeling cleaner or gentler than other anti-inflammatory options. Research shows promising results, especially for osteoarthritis. For certain seniors, Boswellia provides a type of relief they hadn't felt with anything else. Each of these supplements works in its own way, addressing a different part of joint health. But the real magic happens when they're combined thoughtfully and paired with daily habits that support healing. I've seen seniors transform their mobility, not by relying on one supplement, but by building a simple, consistent routine that gives the body everything it needs to function well. I remember one woman in her late 70s named Evelyn, who came to me convinced nothing would ever help her knees again. She had tried dozens of supplements with no success. But once we corrected her vitamin D deficiency, added omega-3s, introduced glucosamine sulfate, and paired everything with gentle movement and hydration, she started to experience relief. Within months, she was walking farther, standing longer, and even gardening again. Not because of one pill, but because her entire routine finally supported her body. This is the beauty of evidence-backed supplements. They're not magic, they're tools. Tools that work when the body is given the environment to heal. And that's exactly what we'll talk about next. The habits and routines that amplify supplement results more than most people realize. What actually works better than supplements alone? As we come to the final part of this main section, I want to share something that surprises many seniors when I say it. Supplements alone, even the best ones, are never the full answer. They are supporters, helpers, quiet partners in the healing process. But your joints need more than a capsule. They need the rhythm of daily habits, the nourishment of movement, and the gentle consistency that only you can give them. One of the most powerful tools you have is strength training. And before you picture heavy weights or complicated machines, let me ease your mind. Senior-friendly strength training is simple and safe. It can be as easy as standing up from a chair a few times, lifting light hand weights, or using resistance bands. Your muscles are the natural shock absorbers of your joints. When they're strong, your joints feel lighter, more stable, and far less painful. I've watched seniors who once struggled to climb stairs suddenly move with ease after adding small strengthening exercises into their day. Hydration is another quiet miracle. Your joints are living tissues, and they depend on water to stay flexible and lubricated. Without enough water, cartilage becomes dry and stiff, and synovial fluid loses its slippery quality. Many people underestimate how much dehydration contributes to pain. But once they start drinking consistently throughout the day, they're amazed at how their body responds. Your diet matters deeply too. Anti-inflammatory foods like berries, leafy greens, salmon, turmeric, olive oil, and nuts act like cool water poured over a fire. When inflammation drops, movement becomes easier. I often remind my patients that what they eat today becomes the cells their joints use tomorrow. Food is not just fuel, it's medicine. Weight management plays a meaningful role as well. Even small amounts of extra weight put enormous pressure on the knees and hips. I've seen seniors reduce their joint pain dramatically by losing just 5 or 10 pounds. It's not about size or appearance. It's about giving your joints the break they've been asking for. Footwear is one of the most overlooked sources of joint stress. The feet are the foundation of the entire body. When shoes lack support, the knees, hips, and spine pay the price. But when seniors switch to shoes with proper arch support and cushioning, their pain often improves faster than they expect. Posture may seem small, but the way you carry your body shapes the way your joints function. Years of leaning forward, rounding the shoulders, or locking the knees can wear down the joints unevenly. But when seniors begin to realign their posture, they create space for their joints to move the way they were meant to. Movement snacks are another simple yet powerful strategy. Instead of one long workout, just 2 minutes of movement every hour can nourish your joints all day long. Gentle stretches, shoulder rolls, slow walking, standing up and sitting down. These tiny bursts of motion keep the joints lubricated and prevent stiffness from building. And never underestimate the power of sleep. Nighttime is when the body performs its deepest repair work. Poor sleep increases inflammation and slows recovery. But with a calming bedtime routine, consistent schedule, and a comfortable environment, your body finally gets the rest it needs to heal the tissues that support your joints. When you combine these habits with the right supplements, the results become exponentially stronger. I've seen seniors who struggled for years suddenly experience relief when they paired their supplement routine with better hydration, mindful movement, and improved sleep. The body doesn't need perfection, it needs partnership. And when you give it the support it's been asking for, it rewards you with strength, flexibility, and comfort you may not have felt in years. Now that we've explored everything that truly helps, you're ready for the most important part: understanding the emotional power behind believing in your body again. That's where our journey continues in the conclusion. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to bring you back to the heart of everything we've talked about. Joint pain relief isn't about buying the most expensive supplement or chasing the newest trend on the shelf. It's about understanding your body, listening to it, and giving it what it has been quietly asking for all along. When you truly understand the way your joints work and what they need, the path toward relief becomes clearer, calmer, and far more hopeful. Your body is resilient. It has carried you through decades of life, through work, family, joy, challenges, and everything in between. And no matter your age, your body can still heal, adapt, and respond. I've seen it in people in their 60s, 70s, and even late 80s. Healing may come slowly, gently, and quietly, but it comes. Your joints are not giving up. They're simply asking for support instead of pressure, compassion instead of frustration, partnership instead of quick fixes. So take a moment to acknowledge all the ways you can support your body starting today. Choose smarter supplements with real science behind them. Move a little more each day, even if it's just a few minutes at a time. Drink enough water to nourish your joints from the inside out. Build consistent habits that give your body the stability it craves. Fill your plate with foods that soothe inflammation rather than stir it up. These choices may seem small on their own, but together, they create a future where movement feels easier and life feels lighter. And above all, remember that you have more control than you think. Relief is absolutely possible at any age. Your body wants to get better. It wants to support you. It just needs the chance. If this video brought you clarity, strength, or hope, I invite you to stay informed, share this message with someone who needs it, and subscribe to Senior Health Daily. Together, we'll continue building a healthier, stronger future, one step, one choice, one day at a time.